What's going on, traders? Andrew O'Connell here with Pristine Capital. Welcome to our market recap video. It's June 16th and we are recording a late night edition. So thank you so much for tuning in tonight. As always, click the like button on the video. Also subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this content. What another crazy day in the market, team. The market got absolutely destroyed after a really nice reaction initially to the FOMC meeting. So let's dive into that and let's just talk about what a crazy wild day this was. Now for the FOMC reaction, you always get the initial move, which is everyone in the United States, US markets are open, everyone in that market reacting. But then the following day you get the reaction from Europe as well as Asia. And it really just looks like there's funds out there that are completely blowing up and imploding. For our box scores, we had the S&P 500 finish down 3.31%. Our NASDAQ QQQ was down 4.03%. We have our IWM small caps down 4.63%. Dogs of the Dow Jones down 2.39%. And our ARK Innovation ETF finished down 6.19%. Now keep in mind, the average annual return for the S&P 500 is about 7% per year. So these moves that we're putting in, they are just colossal. This is like a half year's worth of returns in a single session. Pretty much everything closed towards the lower third end of its day's range. Volatility expanded to the upside and breadth was really a washout. We finished out the session with only 5.2% up volume and my trend model remains at a -3 reading. Crude oil month-to-date performance, this is something I am tracking very closely because again, crude oil was the major contributor to the really hot CPI report that triggered this global cascade. And you can argue there's actually a couple reasons why this could be happening. We're having issues in the cryptocurrency market. That is a highly leveraged marketplace. We're seeing credit spreads moving higher. We're seeing volatility in the fixed income market, equities, you name it. And these commodities have been in really strong uptrends. So it is great to see that crude oil month to date for the month of June is actually down 0.63%. Because while all the narratives are now around out of control inflation, we're seeing with our very own eyes that inflation is actually decelerating in terms of these commodities. That's a great thing. Finviz heat map, we got absolutely smoked today. Barely any areas of strength in the market. You can see Walmart was up slightly, as well as Procter & Gamble. On our sector map, check this out. Also pretty much a broad bloodbath. Semiconductors down 6.03%. ARK Innovation ETF down big. We had blockchain assets down. And KWEB, which has been in our top momentum slot, also got hit pretty hard. The only survivor, the only green asset, was the gold miners. They were up 1.89%. And you can see that the healthcare stocks, this XLV ETF, closed very close to the upper end of its day's range, as well as biotech. Kind of odd. Definitely something to watch out for. Style factors, our growth style factor was down 3.92%. High beta was down 5.94%. So major capitulation going on within these markets. Let's go over to our indices and then we'll talk about some of my trades for the day and really just what we're seeing. So yeah, again, just major moves in the market. The TDEX, which is our measure of tail risk within the market, it measures put options that are 3 standard deviations out of the money. That was up 47% today. So it really just goes to show there is a panic in the marketplace. And we remember, look at the S&P 500. Check this out. So today was a really challenging day. I was coming into the market expecting, maybe we're going to get some continuation from yesterday's strength, get above this 3,800 level. So I was just as blindsided as anyone when I looked at my phone this morning and I just see there's a huge gap down. Now here's why I don't want to stop out of a bunch of positions, because May 20th, this was monthly OPEX for the last monthly cycle, and the market literally bottomed into OPEX. Now here we are, tomorrow is OPEX, it's also quad witching, and then we're going to have positive quarter end as well as month end rebalancing flows coming into equities plus July seasonality, which is the best throughout the entire year. So I honestly think today was a really challenging day, and I purposely went to the gym in the middle of the day just to get off the desk and really just recharge the mental batteries, because I just know in my mind, I'm like, the worst possible scenario is probably people that are like stopping out and capitulating and dumping their 401ks literally as we're hitting this climactic selling period into the quad witch. Now look at this, the S&P 500, we've already tagged our Venom S1 pivot for the month. We do have a virgin point of control down here at 35.55. Could that be a logical target? Could we be trading there tomorrow? Absolutely. Always have to keep that in the back of mind. And that VPOC was established, I believe it was in like December of 2020. So we're really retracing a large part of this move. And the market has almost retraced pretty much all of the post-COVID gains. I mean, look at this. So prior to COVID, the market high was around like, 3,400, somewhere around there. Right now we're at 3681. Let's take a look at some of these other indices as well. So we have S&P 500. We've got our NASDAQ, which also got hit over the head today. At least getting a nice little mini gap in the after hours, up 0.42%. Nice little consolidation prize. But yeah, you can see what's odd is like over the past 4 sessions, this has been incredibly violent. It's felt incredibly volatile, but it's not like, we're in a much different place than we were just a few short days ago. It's like tomorrow, even if we get the slightest little bit of equity buying, or let's say on Monday, we could be pushing above, the range that we've been in for the past couple sessions. So that's what makes this a little bit tricky. Yeah, you don't want to be like that dumb money that's capitulating out at this bottom. Russell 2000 up 0.2% in the after hours. This was a pretty devastating red candle here. And look at the high volume that's occurring as we're flushing out. And then our Dow Jones, these dogs. Dow Jones, very similar picture here. Now our treasuries are starting to catch a bid. Let's take a look there. 10-year treasury futures, look at this. So they're coming off the lows. And remember, the big trigger for this sell-off was like, oh my gosh, CPI is so high. Fixed income is really selling off. So it's good to see that we're starting to see a bid come into that market. Now you can make the case, it's just like a global liquidity crunch. Money starts coming into treasuries when there's a major risk off. But nonetheless, the price action is the price action. And then as we look at our cryptocurrency, we're going through a massive liquidation event within the crypto world. And it honestly looks like, when I see this kind of action where like can't hold a bid, everything's just getting snuffed out, as soon as the rallies start, this literally, like, I can tell this is an extinction event, and there's lots of players out there that are really fighting for their lives. So yeah, just some wild stuff going on into this quad witch. Let's take a look at my trades for the day, and then we'll wrap up. Thanks so much for tuning in. I know we're putting this out there late. So I did enter some trades. I entered the end phase August 19th, 185 calls for 23.15. I noticed yesterday that the solar group was showing some relative strength. I entered this in the morning, and I gotta say my trade location on this one was not ideal for the day. So check this out. Sometimes I really nail these things. Other times I look and I go, could I have done that better? Yeah. So end phase, look at this. And granted, like in one day of price action, this could totally turn around. But I entered this thing when it was down maybe like 4% on the session. In the morning, it was holding in pretty strong. And I probably entered it a bit too early. And we ended up finishing the day, down 10%. So really wild moves. But this is one, I bought these call options for August. I think that if and when this market turns around, this could be a good stock to own. So yeah, never like to see like, day one just getting absolutely sparked. But it is what it is. The show must go on. And then I did also enter via the common stock a very small position in Roblox for a scalp. I did see some headlines that You know, this one could be taken over by Meta or Oculus Rift, that sort of thing. And so I entered a small position for a scalp. This one did not really move all that much after my entry, but we will see if we get any sort of balance in these growth stocks due to these treasuries moving higher. You know, this one has just been such a volatile name. This one could see a nice little bounce. This one's really just like a little mini scalp trade. So yeah, now after doing that, I'm fully allocated in the market. Once again, I'm 100% long, which I know is not very common for most people in the market. You know, most people are like super spooked and like, oh, I can't be in the market. And I'm sure there's a lot of other people that are just, you know, they're in the market as well, but they're just honestly not being transparent about it. Let's just put that out there. But yeah, so for tomorrow, you know, basically hoping for the best, prepared for the worst. It is the Quad Witch, so we really have to expect the unexpected. And then hopefully after that, you know, this wave of selling can finally abate and, you know, the dust can settle. With that being said, that about does it for this post-market video. Hope you all have a great rest of your evening. And as always, I'll see you all tomorrow.